Did you know that in a recent study.com survey, 89% of college students said that they had used ChatGPT in a homework assignment? That seems mind-blowing, doesn't it? I mean, probably about the same level of students who at some point in their life have Googled a question on their homework. Even at Stanford University, probably one of the most coveted colleges in the country, 17% of students admitted to using ChatGPT in their fall 2022 classes in some way. And so the question that I want to ask today is using ChatGPT cheating, or is it just studying smarter? My name is Brooke. I've been coaching students on the SAT and the ACT and through the college admissions process for over a decade and a half, so I work with a lot of students. And we work on essays. I know I already did a video on ChatGPT and essays. We work on a lot of stuff. And I'm curious about how this is going to work through the education system. Is it just like a calculator in math class, something that helps aid and assist us in doing things that, yeah, we already know how to do? Is this the next spell check or Grammarly Pro? Or is it the apocalypse of education? Here's what I can say about ChatGPT. In some ways, it's not that different of an advancement as other things that students have had at their disposal in the last decade or two. For example, an 11-year study by a Rutgers psychologist found that over 50% of students are Googling their homework on a regular basis, and correct homework answers now correlate with lower scores overall in courses, because what happens is when students Google their homework and get perfect answers on their homework, they often aren't thinking through what they're putting down, and they're not learning because they're not generating the answers themselves. They're just looking them up and filling them out like data entry. So when they do that, they don't learn, and then their exam scores tend to be lower. As people use ChatGPT to write essays, they could really be not learning critical essay writing strategies and methods that they need to know. And so obviously in that light, we don't want to have a world where people are using this technology in a way that harms their own learning. We don't want a generation of people who never learned anything because they just cheated their way through. That's not cool. So my question is, where is the place that ChatGPT is beneficial, and how should we be teaching students to use it? Where I see the real value is, to me, where I would say the smart kids are already using it. Now, in that Stanford survey that I showed you guys earlier, which was a FizPost survey that was published in the Stanford Daily, its student newspaper, they had a follow-up question. And in that follow-up question, they asked, if you use ChatGPT to assist with your final fall quarter assignments and or exams, to what extent did you use it? And the number one majority way that people were using it was for brainstorming, outlining, and forming ideas, meaning they were getting input from it, but they weren't stealing things in their entirety. And this is where I find ChatGPT is the most useful, right? I write SAT and ACT questions for my materials that I make for students. So when I'm doing that, if I want, if I'm looking at a real SAT question and it's about one career in the sciences, I might say, come up with 5 different careers in the sciences. And maybe they can give me some career ideas, and that's where I can start writing a mock passage from, right? So idea generation is something that maybe it can do faster than we can. If you work in a business, right, and you have to perform or get something together, ChatGPT is a tool you might use to do that. I talked to a relative recently who had used ChatGPT to create a simple snippet of code that she needed, and she said it did a good job. It gave her what she needed, and she knew she could look at it quickly, but she didn't have to type the whole thing out, and it just did it for her, right? In the same way that a calculator can, if I have calculator programs in my TI-84 that solve a system of equations with 2 unknowns, I can type in that really quickly. I can save myself a minute or 2, right? I can save myself some time. The other way that I see it as useful is when we use it as a tool to improve what we're already doing, not to replace it entirely, right? It's not that I'm telling it, do all my homework for me, and I cut and paste it, or maybe adapt it a little bit to get rid of the factual inaccuracies. It's that I'm looking at it as an idea bounce board. And I think this is why we even have a Penn professor who's telling his students to actually use it in an assignment, right? He's telling students, I want you to learn how to use this tool and use it to your advantage. So I'm going to give a quick example of how I might use this in my business, which is I might have it improve a job description, right? I'm hiring for an internship right now because we're redoing our digital SAT course that we're creating, because we already have a regular SAT course, a paper-based, and we're doing a digital SAT course. And so I'm looking for some interns to kind of help me fill in the gaps. So you can see also at the end, they're saying this is a great opportunity for anyone looking to gain experience in curriculum development and education technology. We offer a supportive and dynamic work environment, opportunities for growth and development, and competitive compensation. They made all that up. I didn't put any of that in there. But I like the concept of it, which is what kind of a culture do we have? And why is this a good opportunity for someone, right? Ending with those kind of two ideas is probably a good idea. And I didn't think of that when I drafted up my first little job description. Most of the time, the smart kids aren't using it to write the whole darn thing without edits. Only 5.5% of people using the tool were doing that, because I'm going to be honest, that's not the smart way to use it. The smart way to use it is to understand what it can bring to the table and how it can help improve what you do rather than replace what you do. And I think the bottom line is that we have to come up with an ethical framework for how ChatGPT is going to be used in education. Teachers, administrators need to now come up with guidelines so students know where the line is. Teachers need to make clear when is ChatGPT an acceptable technology to use and when it is not, right? How is it allowed to be used? How is it not allowed to be used, right? I also think that high stakes assessments are going to have to be done in person. We have to have proctoring. We have to have, face-to-face monitoring so we know that people aren't cheating. In-person testing is going to become a norm. I know if I were a teacher, the assignment I would want to give people is I would want to give them an in-class writing assignment, and then I would want them to take it home and improve it using ChatGPT so I know what they wrote and I know what ChatGPT they can use to write. And then I want them to describe that process and screenshot what ChatGPT came up with and how they synthesize the two together. That's what I'm interested in doing, is how can you use this as a tool? Because I also think that's an important skill set in the future. I mean, just for business communication, people are going to be using this and they're going to start using it like yesterday. So I also think we can't ignore this. We can't just pretend it doesn't exist, shove it under a rug and expect students to never touch it. That's not realistic. But I think we do need an ethical framework and we need to figure out how to move forward in that way. I hope you guys found this video interesting. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and let us know, what do you think of ChatGPT? What are you worried about? What are you excited about? How do you see this playing out in education? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.